In a recent interview, actor Idris Elba dropped a bombshell. He's been in therapy for a year battling his own demons. What's his nemesis? Relentless workaholism. Workaholism is characterized by having an excessive dedication to your work or career. You tend to work long hours, prioritize your jobs over other important aspects of your life, and constantly think about work even when you're out of the workplace. In this video, we'll dissect the personality traits that make you a workaholic, and we'll show you how to find fulfillment in your career without chaining yourself to the office clock. Trait number 1, perfectionism. Workaholics are likely to be perfectionists. This means they set impossibly hard standards for themselves and their work and are never quite satisfied with the end result. This causes them to put in longer hours or even work outside of their working hours. Perfectionists are also prone to doing everything themselves instead of delegating excess work to their colleagues. Since nothing is ever good enough, they don't trust other people to produce the same quality of work as themselves. If you have perfectionist tendencies, you can change them by realizing that perfection is not real. It's an imaginary concept, and trying to attain it can only cause frustration. Instead, try to create realistic expectations, both for you and your coworkers. Perfect is the enemy of good. Trait number 2, conscientiousness. Workaholics tend to be highly conscientious people, meaning that they tend to be disciplined, responsible, and goal-oriented. While these are all positive attributes, they can lead to problems such as perfectionism, obsession with one's work, and neglect of personal life and health. This is especially true if you're prone to negative emotions like stress and anxiety. For some people, their work can serve as a sort of crutch or escape mechanism. By engaging in something that's considered productive and valuable, people can disregard other problems in their lives by burying themselves in their work. Putting in long hours and working diligently is necessary if you want to succeed in any high-end career due to its highly competitive nature. Of course, this comes at the cost of disregarding other aspects of your life. If you are highly conscientious, you may find it hard to relax or simply do nothing. One solution for this problem is to hang out with people who know how to wind down and have a good time. We unconsciously imitate people we spend time with and become more like them as a result. For example, you can become more extroverted by hanging out with other extroverts if you're highly introverted. The same thing applies to other character traits. Schedule the time to wind down and relax, just as you would schedule other work commitments. Then show up. If you're still feeling stressed and anxious, it might be best to seek out professional advice. And that's where today's sponsor, BetterHelp, comes in. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you'd expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, with more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable rate. BetterHelp has a special offer today where you'll get 10% off your first month. Just go to betterhelp.com/improvementpill. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Now let's move on to our next trait, low job satisfaction. Even though it may seem workaholics love what they do, it may surprise you that many of them report having lower job satisfaction than their non-workaholic colleagues. People who are unsatisfied with their jobs may work excessively to cope with the lack of fulfillment their job offers them. They falsely believe that working harder may bring them more success or recognition. But if their hard work goes unrecognized, it may lead to feelings of apathy or frustration instead. If you feel underappreciated in your current workplace, don't be afraid to look for another job. Research shows that people who frequently switch between jobs have better salaries than people who stay at the same job for a long time. Of course, a higher salary is not the only factor to consider when switching jobs. The point is that if you give yourself more options by looking at other job opportunities, you create leverage with your employer. Many people get stuck in their jobs because they can't afford to lose them, meaning they have no leverage to negotiate better working conditions. Finding a new job is not easy, so you may need to brush up your CV or learn new marketable skills. Trait number 4, lack of boundaries. Workaholics often have blurred or non-existent boundaries between their personal life and career. This may come in the form of neglecting your personal life or even tying your self-worth with your career. People who strongly identify with their careers are more likely to go the extra mile in their work, but this often comes at an expense. They may believe that their worth as a person depends on their ability to meet high standards at work. This can create a vicious cycle where they work excessively to prove their worth. Being successful at what you do for a living is important, but it's only one aspect of your life. To have a truly balanced life, you also need meaningful relationships with your friends and family and something to do during your leisure time. Workaholics often have very little or no leisure time at all, and they put their relationships on hold in favor of working longer hours. Even when they're not working, they may be urged to check their email or worry about their work-related obligations. If this resonates with you, try to establish clear boundaries between your work and your personal life. Define specific work hours and stick to them as closely as possible. Avoid bringing work-related tasks or stress home with you physically and mentally. If possible, avoid checking work emails or messages during your personal time, especially evenings and weekends. As Johann Hari put it, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. More often than not, workaholics lack something in their lives and try to fill in the void by work. Working hard can bring you many benefits, like a better salary, recognition, fame, prestige, etc. But in and of itself, it's not enough. There's no point in working if you can't share the fruits of your labor with other people. Work is important, but at the end of the day, it's the relationships you have with others that give your life meaning. If you feel stuck in your career, make sure to watch my other video on escaping the rat race. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.